Sandra from Asexualise, my asexual life live stream, and again here on this channel, which is the place to be for education about asexuality. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button now and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video or go live. So, what is the definition of a real man? I actually got an entrepreneur friend who posted, "Hi Michael, nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining me. Lovely to see you." So on Facebook, I'm friends with quite a lot of asexuals and also friends with a lot of asexual entrepreneurs. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. I call myself the asexual entrepreneur. But I have a lot of friends on my Facebook profile that are asexuals, and a lot of my friends are also entrepreneurs. It's kind of split 50-50. Well, probably more 40-40. And I've got like some friends from school or college. Well, not college, actually. I think they're from school, the majority of them. And some fibro friends. And you have to excuse me because I've still got a chest infection. So, yeah. So basically, I call myself the asexual entrepreneur because I'm asexual and I class myself as an entrepreneur. So in one of the Facebook posts that one female entrepreneur friend did, she asked the question. I don't want to show you, obviously I don't want to show you her because I don't think it's fair. So I'll just show you that, I don't think you can see it anyway, that is the question she asked, which you can't even see, I don't think. Oh, you might be able to if my hand wasn't in the way of the phone. There you go. That's the question she asked. Question of the night. What is the definition of a real man and a real woman? I am intrigued. So that's the question she asked. Okay. So I gave my definition of, I didn't give my definition of a real woman, even though I am female. I gave my definition of what a real man is. And I think this is so important. Obviously, everyone's definition might be different about what a real man and a real woman is. But this was what I wanted to share because I think it's what causes quite a lot of problems when you're looking for good friends or looking for a good relationship or good person in your life, yeah? Because you've all got different standards, different principles, different beliefs. But I'm really sorry. I hope my voice holds out. Right, so this was my answer. I will read it out to you, but I like to do this just to, I don't know if you can even see it, just to prove to you that I have written that, you know, that it is genuine. I'm not making this stuff up. So this is my definition of a real man, right? And this is the type of guy I look for in a relationship, okay? So a real man is someone who is sensitive, kind and caring. Someone here is romantic and gentle. Obviously, people who are not romantic might disagree on that one. Someone who is not afraid to show his emotions and who is in touch with his feminine side while still being super strong and knowing his own mind. He is both sympathetic and empathetic, yet strong yet strong enough to see fools, liars and cheats. He is loyal, dedicated and faithful, 100% trustworthy. He can be with a woman for her mind, spirit and soul, and because he is her bestest ever friend and loves to communicate with her as much as possible because of that, and spend quality time with her whilst actively listening to her and understanding her needs naturally. He loves her because of her personality and soul. And he loves her because of her personality and soul, not because of what he can get out of her, and values her as a person, not the stereotypical conventions society has thrust upon him to believe a woman should be. Her love is enough for him. Being with her is enough for him. He is a go-getter and consistent action taker where the relationship is concerned, and always wants to improve it. He has no secrets, nothing to hide, and is open to being vulnerable and sharing his world and dreams with her. He will not expect the woman to be a housewife or to have kids and marriage. It's not necessary unless the woman wants it, but he can still be committed without it. And of course there was a bloke who disagreed, which I'm not surprised because especially a lot of alpha males will disagree with that. And but it was interesting, right? Because this was this guy's reply. I'm not going to obviously reveal the guy. It's not fair to him. But he put, sorry, I cannot agree on your view of a real man. A man will change with a change in persons or personality. For this reason, in quotation marks, the perfect man for one is not the perfect man for the other. This does not alter the definition of a real man. I never actually said, I did not say the perfect man for one is the perfect man for another. I don't like chameleons. I like a real man, true and authentic, no matter who is around him. And this is true for me in dating and relationships. I'm not interested in an asexual guy who changes like the wind. It was really interesting, though, because I had a conversation with 2 asexual guys at one of my meetups, not the last meetup, but the meetup before. And 2 of the guys, both asexual at my meetups, they both said to me that they change to their partner. And one of the guys that said this was romantically attracted to me, I know. But that put me off him even more. You know, I don't mind being friends, you know, with guys, although they're not going to be close friends of mine who are like that. But I don't mind being friends with guys. I mean, in fact, the other guy is my friend, but we're not really close. And the other guy I know, like an online friend as well. But, you know, I can't be with a guy who changes depending on who's around him. Because your description sounds like me, but I don't desire relationships. So being a real man doesn't matter to me. Oh, bless you, Michael. That's really sweet. Oh, that's really nice to know. That's really funny. Yeah, one of my BFFs like that as well, actually. You know, so there are guys like that, as you know, which is great because I know you're not looking for a relationship. I'm glad you make that clear, though, because I'm a hyper-romantic, so it's good to make it clear to me. You know what I mean? I know, even though I've never suggested anything like that between you and me, I still think it's good you say that, because it's just nice, isn't it? It's just fun. But yeah, so the woman was trying to keep the peace. I'm not going to say who she was, the entrepreneur who wrote this question. So she put great response to him. And I understand you totally, to me, 100%. And I put, yeah, well, I actually know a guy like I described, and he is my BFF. And this was really interesting because, you know, it's interesting that you said that as well, Michael, as well. So, you know, I think I'm getting friends like that as well because I know there are genuine guys out there now. I know because I'm attracting those type of guys as my friends. So I know that I can get a good relationship now by having better quality friends. And this is really important. Whoever's watching this now, and I know there's a few of you watching, in order to get a good quality relationship, if you want a good quality relationship, you have to get better quality friends of the gender or genders that you're attracted to. This is a really important relationship and dating tip, you know? And obviously, if you're just looking for friends, then that's the end aim of the game, isn't it? You are trying to get better quality friends for you. So if you achieve that, then that's great. You know, my BFF, he's asexual and he is like I describe, you know, and I totally trust him. In the past, I haven't trusted many guys and I totally trust him. And there's another guy that I trust who's asexual, who's one of my best friends as well. And I trust him probably 100%. I don't want to say that, but the other guy, my BFF, I definitely trust 100%. But, you know, I just trust more guys now because I just know they're quality guys and they open up to me, you know. They're not secretive. They're not hiding stuff. They're very open and honest with me and they are themselves. They're genuine themselves, whoever they're around. I can't be with someone who changes, like I said, like a chameleon. I'm not interested in guys like that. And there are a lot of guys like that, you know. And like I was saying, at one of my asexual meetups, even 2 of the guys that I know, even they were saying that in a relationship, they're like that. And I put, look, and this is what I put. I know a guy like I described, he's my BSFF. And I also put, this is why when one guy has several girlfriends in his life, and each one afterwards realizes she did not know him, because, like so-and-so describes, he changed with the people around him. I personally could never be in a relationship with that type of guy. I know 2 guys who say they are like this in a relationship, and one was interested in me, but this put me off him even more, as I would never want to be with a guy like that. You know, this is coming from my heart. You know, it's interesting. This is what I'm saying as well. It's interesting that all dating coaches promote the alpha male as the best type of guy to be in a relationship with, but as we all know, that comes from caveman era, and we are now in the 21st century. Maybe they should learn more 21st century techniques. And that is seriously something I really, want to talk a bit more about, is why in the 21st century are we still focusing predominantly on, relationships and dating coaches, which obviously, they're geared towards heterosexuals as well, the majority of them. Which obviously we're not sexual. So, you know what I mean? So obviously that's hard for a start, but some of the things do apply to us as well, and some of them, there's one particular dating coach who I watch a lot because I believe he's a genuine guy and he gives really good advice. Even though he caters for, he's talking about 2 heterosexual women about heterosexual guys. But all the dating coaches are based on alpha males. Well, to be honest, I like a guy who's strong, don't get me wrong, and who knows his own mind, and the women can't wrap them around, women can't wrap them around his little finger, because I know there is a danger with guys who are more in touch with their feminine side, that they can get women who abuse that. They'll come on private message, they'll pretend they're the damsel in distress and they really need help, and really they're emotionally manipulating the person. So I don't think that's good. So I think a guy needs to be feminine, not afraid to show his feminine side in terms of emotions, kindness, caringness, openness. But I also think that he needs to step up to the plate and understand there are cheaters and there are liars and there are people, including women, that are not truthful. I mean, I knew growing up as a kid, when I was bullied, I was predominantly bullied by women more than men. And, I know what women are like. I know a lot of them are very, they tell you one thing to your face and then they're very bitchy behind it, or they're not telling the truth, I learnt first-hand personal experience of, I had this one so-called best friend, and this other woman, she was nice to me in front of her, and then she was horrible to me behind this best friend's back, and my best friend couldn't see how she was. She thought the butt would melt out of this woman's, girl back then, she thought butter wouldn't melt out of her mouth. But, I know she's very horrible to me behind my friend's back. So I learnt the hard way at school. Women are not all to be trusted, That doesn't mean to say that some of us aren't. But, this goes for women as well. That's what I'm saying. There's good things and bad things about all genders, about individuals. So, I do think that, a lot of dating coaches, I know that they do talk about the alpha male all the time being the best person to have. And I just, it's hard because I'm not really attracted to the alpha male. I'm not attracted to muscly guys. I'm not attracted to the macho guys. I'm not attracted to the guys who go down the pub with their mates and look at women. I'm not into all that stuff. I'm into more guys that will write me poetry, that will have long, deep, meaningful conversations, or guys that will be into tech and talk about coding, websites, on, some nerdiness. To me is quite, what people think is nerdiness, I just consider as intelligence, I don't even think, when people say I'm nerdy, I don't even understand what that means half the time. To me, it just means they're intelligent, but I don't really get it. I don't really understand the word nerd. It's never really entered my vocabulary. So when a lot of asexuals call themselves and say they're a nerd, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean you just squat up on things? You're just intelligent? So why don't you use the word intelligent? I'm sapio-asexual as well, which means that I'm attracted to guys because of their intelligence. If a guy's really intelligent, it really turns me on asexually. Like, as in, I'm like, oh, I want to talk to you. I want to kiss you. You're beautiful. If someone's talking to me about if a foreign guy, for example, is talking to me about website design and he's going, "Oh, I'm doing this and that," I'm like, "Oh, I just want to kiss you now," because it's like I find that type of talk so invigorating. I know that's not a typical female. A typical female wouldn't be interested usually in tech talk, and I'm not really a typical female. I have what I would call some male traits, which is why I guess I'm attracted to guys who have some female traits, because we kind of balance each other out. But I do like a guy to be a man in the sense he's strong, you know. I don't like a guy who's a mummy's boy, for example. I've had one of them in the past. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. His mum controlled a lot of his life, you know, and whatever his mum said he did. And I can't stand that type of guy either, you know. And a guy who, yeah, is caring towards his mum, but doesn't, you know, like his mum rule his life, because that's just ridiculous, you know. It's not that, to me, he's not a man either. So it's kind of like partly to do with having balance as well. But, you know, I think I'm really happy and fortunate that this year I've got more asexual guy friends in my life. They're kind of more role models in my life now for what a good guy looks like, because I don't want to end up, you know, keep having bad guys in my life that I did in the past, or attract bad guys, you know, or attract guys that, you know, just are liars. There's lots of guys who are liars, sadly. There's lots of guys who, you know, I don't even know if they're telling me the truth or not a lot of the time, you know. I get guys interested in me. You know, I had one today, a foreign guy, one of the guys I mentioned a few days ago, you know, and he said, "I'd like to date you." He lives in another country. So I messaged him back and said, well, what did I message him back? This was really funny. The thing is, he might watch this channel as well, because he's in my group. So I have to be a bit diplomatic. What did I put? I mean, he's in my dating group, so to be fair to him, it's nice he wants to date me. So he put, "I would like to date you." So I put, "Well, thank you. In order for me to consider that, you would need to sort a visa out and get a job and home of your own in the UK. Once you do that and we have Skype to see if we are suitable to date, and you are what I'm looking for, that may be really lovely. I like a clean-shaven guy, though. That is one of my criteria, which you currently don't fit." So instead of in the past, I'd be like, "Oh, that's great. I really like you too," because he's partly my type, not with the beard stuff, though. And, yeah, usually I'll be like, "Oh, yeah. Hi, Noob. Nice to see you. Really nice to see you." So usually, because this guy is my type, like foreign guy, in the past I would have just said, "Oh yeah, that's great, you know, let's do blah blah blah." But you'll notice now I'm trying to change myself, and instead I'm saying, "Well, when you get a visa and you get a home in the UK and you get a job in the UK, then we can talk about me dating you. Yeah, that might be quite nice. That's up to you then, isn't it?" Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to put that before the other stuff, you know, before the romance and the, "Oh yeah, I'm really interested in you." I'm trying to do it backwards to what I usually do and talk about the practicalities first, because it's all very good and well a foreign guy saying he wants to date me, but I need someone here who's in person with me, and I can't do a long distance relationship. So unless a foreign guy can actually get over here and you know, and sort his life out and be a man about it, then I can't date him. So because I don't want to, you know. So that's quite funny, because we are talking about a real man, and to me a real man as well will step up to the plate. A real man, a foreign guy who's a real man, will seek out a job in the UK. He will get his own visa, or he will find a study in the UK. He will get his own visa, and he will get his own accommodation, and he will come over here of his own accord. That is a real man. That's not a guy who, like, as you've seen in the past, has expected me to get him a job sponsorship, has expected me to help him with a visa. No, 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 that's not a real man. That is a guy who's literally, like, scavenging off a woman. And it's not very nice, you know. If a real man loves a real woman, he will move heaven on earth to be with her. And if that's what he wants more than anything, what he's hugely passionate about, then he will find a way, you know. I've got 2 male blogger friends, not asexual. One of them has moved over to Southeast Asia and got married. And the other guy has moved over to Austria and got married. You know, I don't actually want marriage. These people were both British citizens. One of them lived in the UK and the other guy lived in Spain, but he was still, technically British. So both of those guys have moved to other countries to be with the ones they love. One guy is actually about 40 years older than his wife as well, the one that went to Austria. And so it proves as well that age gap love can work. He loves her to bits and she seems really happy with him, and they've got 2 cats. So this just goes to show you that age gap love can work, that if you really want something, you'll do it. And, when a guy's going, oh, but I can't get a visa, it's like, well, don't invite me to date you then. Don't be interested in foreign girls, because it doesn't matter whether it's me or another foreign girl. Do you know what I mean? You should be able to be responsible for yourself, and that's what I think a real man is. Taking responsibility for himself, taking responsibility for his own actions, taking responsibility for his own life, and taking responsibility if he wants to date or be involved with a woman. He should take the lead on that. I do think that is part of being a real man, is taking the lead. And I think it's part of being a real woman, that if a woman wants something, she should go and get it for herself. She should go and work for it and fight for it and get it, not expect a guy to just hand it to her on a plate and go, oh, here's a pile of money, honey, go and spend it. I think it's nice if a guy does spend some money on a woman. I'm not going to deny that. I think it's nice. I personally like to be bought little gifts, but then I used to buy my ex quite a lot of little gifts as well. I used to pay for my ex to be on holiday. That was when I earned a lot more money. I don't earn that sort of money now. But, and I don't want that expected of me. But what I'm saying is, a guy should be able to, sort his life out himself and get over here once. There are lots of foreign guys that are in the UK. There are foreign guys that are doctors, foreign guys that work in IT. There's a whole load of sponsorship jobs on the HMRC. And do you know something? I've given time and time again a lot of foreign guys the link for the HMRC website, and it is like about 2,000 sponsorship companies which go on for pages. But of course they can't be bothered to look through all those sponsorships, and a lot of them, they don't even have the qualifications, to be quite honest. A lot of them that I come across, they haven't got they're not trained up to be a doctor. They don't have the qualifications to be do IT in the UK. But there are a lot of foreign guys that do have their own online businesses, that do have big business, that do make a lot of money. So some of those guys can come over here of their own accord because they've got enough money to afford it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like there's no foreign guys in the world that can't get over to the UK by themselves. It just seems to me that the guys that are attracted to me are the ones that expect me to get them a visa or job sponsorship. And that is just ridiculous, because I'm not doing it. If a guy wants to date me or be in a relationship with me, then he has to prove that he is worth my time and my valuable time, because time is valuable. It's the most precious thing we can give to someone. And then he should be a man about it and sort his own money out, his own life out, and get over here of his own accord, It's ridiculous. And so that's what I think. If I was going to a foreign country, I might ask for recommendations of hotels to stay at if I was going abroad on holiday. I might ask for recommendations of places to live, if I wanted to move there, where's safe to live, that type of thing. But of course I would do my own research as well. But I wouldn't go and expect someone to sponsor me, especially not an individual, yeah? I mean, if it was a big company, and I saw it, and I saw they had, loads of employees they might employ, maybe it might be a bit different if they did that. But to be a sponsor, you have to kind of be a big company anyway, usually, and you have to usually be a registered sponsor anyway, which I'm not and have no way of being and don't want to be. You know what I mean? You have to have a lot of money and a big business usually for that. And there are some marketing companies, for example, that advertise sponsorship jobs on HMRC. But there are lots of websites and other things that foreign guys can use themselves, and a lot of the time they can get here on education as well. But a lot of the older guys go, oh, I'm not going back into education. I've done my education now. Well, that's their choice, I have a choice. I'm not going to be with a guy who's in a foreign country or can't get over here, wants to marry me for a visa, which I don't agree with marriage for me personally anyway. I'm not going to do that. So if he can't be bothered to go back into education because he's too old for it, then that's up to him. That's his choice, in which case he stays in his own country, doesn't he? But there are guys who are even in their 30s who do education over here. I had a foreign friend, and he was 30. Well, he was 32 when he left. I think I spent some time on his birthday with him before he went back to his own country. So I think he was 31 when he came over here. So that's what he was learning. He was doing that. He was doing a PhD in my university, in my city. So it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what age you are. If you choose that, you finished your education now, you don't want to do that, that's your choice. Don't think that asexual girl or person, depending on who you are or your circumstances, owes you anything just because you've decided to finish your education. You don't want to go into it. That's one way on the subject of the video, I think that no one is perfect except in the world of ideals. Is that what you meant by a real man? No? Oh, you might have to watch this video back because I gave my definition of what I thought a real man was in the beginning, and now I'm relating it to other things such as foreign guys I've recently been in contact with who, keep coming in my life, keep wanting to date me, but keep expecting me to give them a job sponsorship or get them a visa. There's loads of, I know you're foreign as well, but you haven't tried to, I don't think, to ever get a visa out of me. Do you see what I'm saying? You're just a person I've known for a long time online. But but I'm trying to say a real man will step up to the plate. Not just even a real man, a real person, whether man or woman, a strong person, not a weak person, which is what I think a real man, a real woman is. It's about strength of character, morals, standards, and values. They will sort their own life out. They won't expect a woman to go and do that for them, and vice versa. I don't expect someone to sort my life out for me. Doesn't mean to say we can't ask for, help as in moral and emotional support sometimes. But, I don't expect a guy to, like, for example, imagine if I turned around to a guy and said, oh yeah, I want you to get me in your country. That's right. Line me up with a job, get me a house or whatever, or get me a visa into your country. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how the hell can he do that anyway without marriage? Because I'm not having marriage. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. If I turn the tables and put it the other way round, I'll be like, oh, right, okay, your parents can pay for me to come in your country then. Yep, you'd be a man about it. I want to come to your country. You can pay for my flights. You can pay for my accommodation. You can get me a job. Your parents can pay for my lifestyle. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the equivalent to me doing that to them. And I don't think that's nice or right to do that, It's just not. Do you know what I mean? It's not a good person that does that. So I'm talking about my definition of a real man. Like I said earlier in this video, someone who's kind, sensitive and caring, and is open to being vulnerable. And a thing I've gone on to talk about now is responsibility for oneself. And I think that's what a real woman is and a real man is in terms of relationships, dating, or even friendship, is someone who's responsible for themselves and their life, and someone who doesn't change to those around them. I don't believe that someone who changes to those around them, personally, is good to be in a relationship with. I've said it earlier in this video that, when you have you hear a lot of women, right? And maybe they've dated the same man, had a relationship with the same man, and they found out from each other, and that they think, oh God, I never really knew who that guy was. And it's because he's changing to each woman that comes along. He's adapting. Now, some guys, I've got a couple of asexual guys who think that's a good way of being. And although I kind of was understanding a little bit of their point of view, because I find it very difficult to understand that point of view, although I was kind of finding it a little bit interesting, I kind of seen where they're coming from. I don't personally believe that's a good way of being, because I'm not like that, As you see me now, is how I am with everyone. I don't change, but I think I'm one of the few people in the whole world that doesn't change. I'm like this when I talk to my parents. I'm like this when I talk to my friends. I'm like this when I talk to you on YouTube. I'm like this if someone meets me in the streets. I'm like this all the time, 24/7, 365 days a year. I do not change to who I'm with. I don't, I'll talk about asexuality in a restaurant. I'll talk about it when I'm walking in the city. I'll talk about when I was in my old job. I'll talk about it when I'm walking down the street. I'm loud, I'm bubbly, I'm outgoing. You know, I'm just like, you know, if you ever meet me in an asexual meetup, you'll see that I'm like I am in person, how I am here. I don't change, and I guess there's not that many people in the world who's actually like that. They're too afraid to be themselves. They're too afraid of what people think. They're too afraid of what people will say. They change themselves to other people around them. And, you know, I kind of get that in part, you know, because they're kind of, you know, but it's not true to who I am. I couldn't be that way. I have to be 100% true to who I am, and I have to be 100% authentic all the time. I can't not be authentic. And to me, being authentic is being yourself, no matter who's around you, no matter how, you know, what people think or what people say or what people do. You still have to be yourself. And if you're not yourself, you kind of feel like a part of your soul's lost, you know. There's times when people, for example, will put you down about who you are, or will make you feel small or belittled, or they might think they have your best interests at heart, but they really don't. They're out for their own agenda, you know. And then that can be quite difficult because, you know, you can kind of feel a bit lost, like you're not accepted for who you are yourself. And I know that not everyone's going to like me. I know that there'll be people who come into my life who do block me on social media. There'll be people who come into my life and think, I don't like her, I don't get her, I don't understand her, I don't want her around. And that's fine. If they want to go on their life, I'll go on mine. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind that. But I'd rather have that than, you know, than 10 different people I see and they all see different versions of me because I'm changing to who they want me to be. I can't be like that. You know, and I look for genuine friends, you know, that's the type of things I look for in friends who are good quality friends, people who I trust, people who I believe are open and honest with me and kind and caring. And I like a guy who is in touch with his feminine side, as in he's emotional and he's not afraid to show his emotions, as in he's sensitive, he's kind. I like a guy who writes me poetry, for example. I like a guy who's skinny. I like a guy who's not muscly. I like a guy who will cuddle me and kiss me. And I like a guy who will go to Disney World with me. Stuff like that. Okay, you don't have to be, you know, I'm not saying every real man will go to Disney now with me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying about, you know, being in touch with his emotions and the sensitive side. And, you know, but I do, in terms of like gender, I am attracted only to guys, and I prefer to be with a guy who was guy from birth, who looks like a guy and who was born as a guy as well, personally. I don't think I could personally be with an agender or transgender person, personally. But, you know, that's not to say that they're less, you know, any less valuable. I thought one of the comments that was on Facebook in that thread, that this isn't an asexual thread that started this off, by the way. This is, you know, usual heterosexual people. You know, one of them made a horrible comment about, oh, a real man is someone who hasn't had a sex change. And I thought that was disgusting, you know. I mean, obviously people who are not asexual and who are not around people who have sex changes or don't understand them, I know they might make a comment like that, but, you know, in terms of a real man, it's all about really your personality and your qualities and your standards and the way you are strong in yourself and step up to the plate. That's why women can have male traits as well, because like my male traits are, I'm strong like a lion sometimes, I'm feisty, I know that sometimes, I stand my ground, I can be stubborn sometimes, I have a loud voice and I'm not afraid to show it. I am quite in male dominated industries a lot of the time. So when I was in my old retail jobs, I've predominantly been in the furniture industry. You know, I've been a furniture manager for 7 years in the furniture industry and in a couple of different places, which you didn't obviously know about me. Well, I've been in management for 7 years. 2 of those were furniture, in the furniture industry, and one of them was actually in outerwear, which, you know, kind of still is a bit more male dominated, but certainly in furniture, predominantly, a lot of the time it's men, you know. So I've been in male industries, being even a female entrepreneur, you know, you're kind of in more of a man's world, you know, there's more guys in it, there's more guys who get paid in it. So, you know, I have some guy traits, you know. Some of the films I like watching are very manly as well, in the sense of a lot of them are action movies. They're termed as male movies. I mean, I just sometimes think we should break away more from these gender stereotypes, you know. Because I think every guy and girl, woman, man has traits in them that can be female and that can be male. But obviously, mostly alpha males, they just predominantly show all their male traits all the time. They're not in touch with their feminine side whatsoever. A lot of them, maybe some of them are some of the time, but it's very small. You know, I mean, some alpha males can still be a kind, sensitive, and caring, because I've kind of seen that it's possible, but these are very rare. And you know, I still don't, you know, I personally don't go for alpha males at all. I've just, you know, maybe I'm attracted to alpha males sometimes without realizing it, but in the end they end up being no good for me, and not good personally, I don't think, to be in a relationship with, because I don't think they're that sensitive, kind, and caring. And I don't think, like, physically, I'm not interested in muscly guys at all. It's like, to me, it's like hugging an armadillo. Do you know what I mean? I can't put my arms very easy around a muscly guy. Having said that, you know, if a foreign guy comes into my life and he's really nice and he shows me all the other traits and he happens to have some muscles, then I'm not saying I won't be with him, because, you know, if he's got all the personality I like and I like his looks, just that he happens to be muscly, then I might still be with him, you know? Because the other stuff might outweigh the fact that he's got some muscles on him. And obviously I do appreciate a guy who likes to keep in fit for himself if it helps him in his life and his mind and his physicality, you know, because that's him self-improving. Obviously, if there's a guy who's going down the gym just staring at women every day and that's why he's really there, then I'm not interested in that type of guy. So, you know, I hope this video has been helpful, useful, insightful. I know it's a bit different to what I usually talk about, but I hope it's helped you in some way when you're kind of looking for a relationship or friendship or dating. You know, just go through the qualities that you think you look for in a friend or in a potential partner. And, you know, what do you consider to be a real man or real woman, as in real strength of character? What do you consider to be a really good person to be around for you, morally, standard wise, you know, and ability wise, you know? Just have a think on that. And if you've got any comments, please leave them down below for me. I love to hear from you. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I really appreciate it, because it gets these videos higher up in the search engine rankings, which means it spreads more awareness of asexuality to get it recognised as an orientation throughout the globe. You know, because asexuality isn't recognised still as it should be throughout the globe as a sexual orientation in its own right, and that is my mission, to get that. Anyway, until next time, brace your quirky and each other's. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video. Thank you, Michael, for tuning in. Thank you, Ayoub. And thanks for everyone else who's been watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next live stream or video. Take care. Bye.